In the bustling city of Lagos lived a brown-skinned young beautiful woman named Rita. She's simple and kind. She's a good tailor who didn't have the opportunity of owning a shop because there was no money. As a result of this, she sew at home most times. She lived a happy life with her husband Collins and their three daughters. Lovett, the responsible elder sister, Rose, the soft-spoken middle child, and Linda, the free-spirited youngest daughter. One fateful morning, everything changed. As Rita went to the market to buy foodstuffs, Collins packed his bag and belongings, leaving only a short note on the kitchen table, and left to an unknown destination. When Rita returned home that evening, she didn't meet Collins, her husband, at home. She sat on the cushion for a while and wondered where he could have been, because it's very unlike him to stay late out there. Few minutes later, she headed to the kitchen where she saw a piece of paper on the kitchen table. She picked it up and read. On the letter, Collins wrote, "I can't do this anymore. Life is too hard and unfair to me. I'm going to find a better life elsewhere. Don't bother to look for me." Rita was broken and devastated. She was sobered. At that moment, a lot of thoughts ran through her mind. She began to wonder what might have happened or gone wrong, but she couldn't find an answer to her many questions. More sad, she sat there whispering these words to herself. With unpaid rent, three mouths to feed, and no stable job, she felt like the world was crumbling around her. But she wiped her tears, held her daughters close, and vowed to fight for them to have a better life. As the day went by, she said to herself, with no husband or father to support them, Rita had to act fast. She took on multiple jobs, cleaning people's houses by day, selling foods by roadside at night, and sewing clothes for her clients whenever she had a free moment. Life was tough. Some nights they went to bed hungry, and landlords threatened to throw them out. And some neighbors began to gossip them, while others pitied them. Rita, being a strong woman, worked more harder to pay their rent and other bills. Growing up, her daughters struggled too. Lovett, though was only 17, started working as a teacher in a private school for younger children. Rose, the middle child, learned how to braid hair at a neighborhood salon. Linda, the youngest, still too young to work, helped by joining her mother in cooking and taking care of their small one-room apartment. Despite the hardship, Rita never let her daughter see her break down. She kept pushing forward, believing that one day things would change. Gradually, things began to fall in place. She had saved little money and she had plans to open a tailoring shop to ease out the stress of doing multiple jobs. In no distant time, life started improving, and immediately disaster struck. A close friend of Rita, called Auntie Grace, convinced Rita to invest her little savings in a big opportunity. A business deal that promised huge profits. Rita, being desperate to give her daughters a better life, took the risk. After the investment, she was waiting for a return. And then days turned into weeks and Auntie Grace disappeared. The so-called investment was a scam. Everything Rita had worked for was gone. She was heartbroken and devastated, and that experience made her begin to have sleepless nights as she kept staring on the documents of the fake business deal on her bed. The heartbreak was unbearable, but instead of drowning in regret, Rita got up and kept moving forward. I refuse to let my daughter suffer, she whispered to herself. One evening, after a long day of work, as Rita was returning home, she noticed a new cafe opening in the neighborhood and looking for workers. The owner, a kind but strict woman named Mrs. Benny, was hiring. Rita applied and she was employed. As time goes on, Mrs. Benny noticed how dedicated Rita was to her duties. With strong work ethics and enthusiasm, she quickly became the most trusted employee. Meanwhile, Lovett, our responsible eldest daughter, just got admission into the university and was excelling in school. Her intellectual soundness earned her a scholarship that lifted some of the financial burdens of her mother. Rose, the soft-spoken middle child breeding skills, attracted wealthy clients and she opened her own beauty salon and she was making good progress for herself and family, which made some of her peers in the neighborhood envied her. Linda, the free-spirited youngest child, was always full of ideas, and she started selling handmade jewelries at schools. And in a short time, her jewelry business gained popularity online. Slowly but surely, the family started climbing out of poverty, and their excitement began to grow. One cool evening, a familiar figure showed up at their door. It was Collins, Rita's husband that abandoned her and her three daughters. He was looking very haggard and tattered, and his face was filled with regret. Collins said to Rita, "Please, I have made a mistake. Life out there wasn't what I thought it would be. Please let me come back," he begged. Lovett and Rose stood by their mother, waiting for her response. For a moment, Rita was silent. Then she looked him in the eye and said, "You left when things were difficult and hard. We survived without you. We don't need you now. Please go." Collins pleaded, but the damage has already been done. He had abandoned them, and Rita had built a life without him. Without thinking twice, she closed the door against him. With time, the family struggle turns into success. Rita's employer, Mrs. Benny, promoted her to manager's level. Rita did not see this coming. She was overwhelmed with joy, and her happiness knew no bounds. Lovett, her eldest daughter, was doing well in her academics, and she earned another scholarship that took her abroad. Rose was making good progress in her salon business, and Linda, the last child, was excelling in her handmade jewelry crafts, and she started teaching other kids how to make handmade jewelry. Now, the family was completely different from what people used to describe them to be. People who once pitied them now admire their strength. The same landlord who had threatened to evict them now offered Rita business deals. The same neighbors who gossiped about them now spoke of their strength and resilience. Rita, who was once broken, had become a symbol of strength. Years later, Rita sat on the balcony of her new home, watching her daughters flourish. She had raised them alone, faced with betrayal, fought through hunger, and refused to be defeated. Her story spread beyond the city, inspiring single mothers everywhere. A local journalist published an article about her journey, titled "The Strength of a Mother," a title that perfectly described her life. As you read through the story online and reflected on how life has treated her, she had a mixed feeling. She was happy and sad at the same time. In all, she felt satisfied. She was that woman who took the bull by the horn and never allowed life challenges break her down. As she sat down at her balcony, watching the sunset, she whispered to herself, No storm is too strong for a woman who refuses to break.